Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel where we talk about tech, productivity, career growth, and life as a digital nomad. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Shreya and I have 5+ years of experience in the tech industry in multiple capacities. I am currently a digital nomad and I'm based in Seattle, Washington for now. In today's video, we're going to talk about breaks, what they are, why you need them, what kinds of different breaks there are, and signs that your body is telling you that you desperately need a break. So tech workers, this one is for you. And before I get started, can we just take 2 seconds to appreciate this closing tag sweatshirt that I wore to represent the topic of today's video? Anyways, corniness aside, let's get started. And before I do, one last thing, I would really appreciate it if you'd consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. So let's get into it. All right, so let's talk about breaks. There's 3 different types of breaks that I want to cover today. The first one is going to be the short break, which is 5 to 30 minutes long. There's going to be the medium-sized break. This one's going to be a day, maybe even a week. They usually represent the end of a work day or a vacation that you might take just for a week, whenever, wherever. And the third type of break is a longer one, where it ranges from a few weeks to even multiple months. And all 3 of these breaks are equally as necessary. The side effects can be pretty catastrophic if you choose to ignore your body's signs that's telling you that you need a break. So in today's video, I want to tell you the signs that you need to be looking out for as you decide that you need a break and what kind of break suits you the best. So it's extremely important that you get acquainted with these signs as early as possible. All right, so let's start off by talking about the short break. Obviously, these are short, as the name obviously suggests. These are between 5 and 30 minutes long. So what are some signs that you can look for that your body's telling you that you need a short break? The very first one is usually your eyes are watery. Don't lie, I know you've experienced it. Sometimes you get lost in this bug or whatever it may be, but you realize that you haven't blinked in like 5 minutes, and when you look away from the screen, your eyes just start to water and are in pain. That's an obvious sign you need to step away from the computer. Another one is when your brain starts to feel like mush. And I know this has happened to you too. You read the same documentation over and over again, or the same acceptance criteria 3 times, or the logic in your coach doesn't make sense anymore. That's your brain telling you that it needs a second away from the computer. Or a third sign, your leg might be twitching. In my case, my wrist starts to hurt, my neck starts to hurt. Get up before you cause yourself some long-term damage. So let's talk about what you can do during these breaks to maximize your time away. Obviously, I'm telling you here to listen to your body and to prioritize it. If you're getting up because of eye pain and you spend 15 minutes on TikTok, you're not helping yourself. We've done it, there's no shame, I've done it, but you're not helping yourself long term. What you want to do instead during these breaks is, if you're getting up because of eye pain, maybe get up and walk around, look at some plants, look at some scenery, anything just away from a screen. Same kind of goes with if your brain is feeling like mush, go take a walk. Or if you're getting up because of wrist pain, go on youtube.com. Oh wait, you're already here. So go to that search bar and search up exercises that help alleviate wrist pain. Even if you don't want to put that kind of effort into your break, 10 times out of 10, you will benefit just from getting up and getting a cup of water and sitting back down. That is more than enough just to get your body just a little bit reset from where it was before. And as a benchmark, you should be taking these types of short breaks several times a day. If you're watching this and realize that you don't take these breaks at all, or just take maybe 1 or 2 a day, I highly urge you to reconsider and increase that number just by a little bit. All right, now that we've talked about short breaks, let's talk about medium ones. These are usually things like logging off for the day, the weekend, and can also encompass going away for a week or 2 for vacation. Here's a couple ways that you'll know that it's time for one. So let me preface this a little bit. Engineers and tech workers in general quite often have the benefit or curse of deciding their own hours. We get to choose when we log in, we get to choose when we log out, and we don't have to clock in or clock out based on an exact number of hours. Our performance is usually outcome based. Like I said, this is sometimes a benefit, and this is in some ways also a curse. It is so easy to find ourselves in this cycle where we are caught up in the next feature request, the next bug, the next customer request, the next issue. And we get into the cycle of working 12, 14, 16-hour days. And that's not good for us. We become worried that if we start producing less than we did before, it would affect our performance review later. But we don't want to be in this cycle where 14-hour days become the norm of a workday. That is an easy recipe for very quick burnout. So let's talk about some signs that you might be heading in there and ways to kind of prevent that. So the most obvious and simplest way is to take a look at your clock. Once you've worked for 7.5 or 8 hours for the day, log off at the next logical stopping point. Like I said, I know the feeling of getting caught up and wanting to do the next thing and just add on to our workload, but at the end of the day, you are not indispensable to a company. If Amazon can function without Jeff Bezos, I am sure that your company will find a way to function without you just for a few hours or a couple days. Another way is if it's the afternoon, you've had a long day, someone in a meeting says something that just absolutely rubs you the wrong way, and you find yourself extremely frustrated. At that point, just log off for the day. Seriously. You might feel like you're producing a little less, but that's not true. By logging off and not responding in anger, you're probably saving yourself some damage that you would have created and have to fix in future days and maybe even get other people involved in. You might as well just log off, take a second off, and come back the next morning refreshed and ready to respond. Again, maybe it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me when I say it is time for a break, at least a short or medium one. So you may be thinking now, what should we do during these medium breaks to maximize our time off? My advice is to take the time to do something, anything that you enjoy, or exercise. Getting your endorphins up are an automatic way to kind of get out of the mindset and hopefully make yourself a little bit happier coming back to work when you do. Personally, one of my favorite weekend activities is a day or overnight trip to a nearby city. That usually allows me to explore, get out of the mindset, get out of my usual scenery, and it helps me a lot. So hopefully you are taking these breaks at the end of every week, and hopefully you are actually using a majority of the time off that your company allows you to use. If not, again, I highly encourage you to consider increasing your number of medium breaks in a year. So let's talk about long breaks. They're usually longer. They can range from a few weeks to even a few months. What are some signs that your body might need a longer break? The first one I want to talk about is your to-do list. If you feel like all you're doing all day long is the items on your to-do list, and that list just never gets shorter, and that's pretty much consumed your entire life, it's probably time for a longer break. Usually this means that you haven't been getting as many of the shorter or medium length breaks that you deserve, and it's becoming a much bigger problem. A second way to know is just indifference. If you feel like you're not motivated at anything, if you feel like you just have no emotions towards the next release at work, or if you just feel like you're a code monkey hopping along until the next deadline and basically have the same dreary routine every day that you don't look forward to, it's probably time for a longer break then as well. And a third sign is when you notice that what you've been doing for the last 3 months brings you no closer to your long-term goals. Quick caveat, everyone has to do grunt work. There's no way of getting around that. Every now and then, that's normal. However, for a prolonged period of time, if all you've been doing is grunt work and there's no end in sight of it, it's probably time to take a longer break and figure out exactly what is going on and how we can change it. To be honest with you, a longer break usually is pretty hard to make it happen. You're gonna need to shift some things around. But in a lot of cases, it's very much worth it. An example would be to ask your manager if you could have a month or 2 of unpaid leave. It sounds crazy, but I do have colleagues that have successfully been able to negotiate this with their current managers without leaving their positions, and they've come back months later just re-energized about life, passionate about new things, and it's been very worth it for them. Another way to do this might just be to quit your job altogether without a new role in hand. Again, crazy, but might be worth it. If all of this is a little too much, another way to do this is just by asking to reduce your commitments at work and reducing your current commitments outside of work. Hopefully, this extra time gives you some time to find the things that you enjoy in life again, reflect, and reprioritize based on that. To be honest, I don't really have an exact number of long breaks that you're going to need per year. This is really on a person-to-person basis, and it kind of depends on whether you've been taking short and medium breaks throughout the year. However, at the end of the day, what's the most important thing is if you're listening to your body and your mind. So what happens if you just don't take these breaks altogether and just completely ignore every sign that you're noticing in your body that's telling you you need a break, but you choose not to take one? Because it's very common. Burnout. That's plain and simple. Burnout is probably one of the most common things that you are looking at. And it's unfortunately very common in our industry. We often glorify working these 20-hour days as our hustle, both on the weekdays and weekends. But at the end of the day, most of us don't actually do that, nor are we designed to do that. Another reminder, what you see on social media is not always real. Just because someone's sharing their productive morning routine or they're sharing their crazy long 12, 14-hour day doesn't mean that that's something that they do every day. In fact, it doesn't really mean that that's something they did at all. Everything you see on social media is very easy to fake, and you definitely have to take it with a grain of salt. The only thing you do know is yourself. Make note of your body's signs and act on them. If you need a break, then take it. You have a long career ahead of you. Oftentimes, the ideas that you will need to make those leaps and bounds that'll really make the needle move in your career, you're really only gonna get once you take a step back. So it's really in your benefit to take these breaks. And you, if you're watching this and this resonated just a little too hard, take a break. Take the next half hour off, take the weekend off, take the week off, take the next few months off. Whatever it takes, take a sabbatical if that's what you need. This is the sign that you are looking for. Walk away and come back with new ideas, ready to take on the world. I am so excited to see what you achieve. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. If any of this resonated, please leave a comment below. And if in the next few days you notice that your body is giving you any of those signs, please take some action, give yourself a rest. I will see you guys next Thursday with a new video. And for those of you who stuck it out to the end, thank you so much for watching my video. I will see you back on my channel next Thursday. Bye.